You know what's crazy? Same room, same people, same situation, yet one person walks in and everyone naturally respects them. No effort, no explanations, no noise. And another person, constantly interrupted, plans canceled last minute, subtle jokes at their expense. That used to be me. I laughed things off, I reacted too fast, I explained myself every time. I thought I was being nice, but in reality I was sending one invisible signal that told people I'm easy to push. Then I noticed one small behavior I was doing wrong. I stopped it, just once, and everything flipped. The way people talked to me changed. The way they treated my time changed. The way they looked at me changed. Here's the part nobody tells you. Most people think respect comes from confidence or charisma or status. That's not true. Respect comes from what you tolerate. I used to think people disrespected me because they were rude or toxic or insecure. But after watching the same patterns repeat at work, with friends, even in casual conversations, I realized something uncomfortable. People weren't crossing my boundaries randomly. They were testing them. Every interruption, every joke at my expense, every last-minute cancellation, those weren't accidents. They were small tests. And without realizing it, I was passing the test in the worst way possible. I reacted emotionally. I over-explained. I stayed available no matter how I was treated. That taught people one thing: there are no consequences here. The secret isn't becoming louder. It isn't becoming aggressive. It isn't standing up for yourself in the way movies show. The secret is this: the moment you stop rewarding disrespect with attention, explanations, or access, people either adjust or disappear. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 4 behaviors you must stop immediately. They look harmless, they feel polite, but they quietly tell people you're easy to ignore. Each one comes with a real situation, real words, and a simple replacement you can use immediately. By the end, you'll know exactly which signal you've been sending and how to shut it off. This is the first behavior that silently destroys your authority: reacting too fast. The moment someone disrespects you, jokes about you, cuts you off, or throws a passive-aggressive comment your way, you respond instantly. Your face changes, your tone changes, you rush to defend yourself. And that reaction tells them everything. Here's the hard truth: disrespect feeds on reaction. When someone tests you, they're not listening to what you say, they're watching how fast and how emotionally you respond. I learned this the embarrassing way. A guy in my circle once laughed and said, "Relax, you're basically just the burger flipper of the group." Old me reacted instantly. I laughed, I explained, I tried to turn it into a joke, and the room felt it. He didn't apologize, he doubled down, because my reaction told him this landed. Later, I tried something different. Another comment, different day, same tone. This time, I didn't rush. I looked at him and said calmly, "That's disrespectful." Then I stopped talking. No anger, no explanation, no jokes. The silence made everyone uncomfortable. He looked confused. Then he backtracked. Then he apologized. Here's why this works. When you react immediately, you look controlled by the situation. When you pause, you look like someone who doesn't need to prove anything. What to do instead? Pause for 2 to 3 seconds. Say one clear sentence if needed. Stop talking. No justification, no story, no defense. That pause alone filters out most disrespect. This one is subtle, and it's the reason smart, capable people still get treated like they're optional. Over-explaining. You explain why you said no. You explain your decisions. You explain your boundaries. And every extra sentence quietly weakens your position. Here's the rule most people never learn. The more you explain, the more you look like you're asking for permission. I used to do this constantly. Someone would question a decision I made, at work, with friends, even in small things, and I'd immediately start talking. I chose this because I just think that I didn't mean it that way. I thought I was being reasonable. What I was really doing was negotiating my own authority. Then I noticed something. People who were respected didn't explain much at all. They stated, then they stopped. So I tried it. A coworker challenged my choice in front of others. Old me would have launched into a 5-minute justification. This time I said, "This is the direction I'm going with." And I stopped. No defense, no data dump, no emotional padding. It felt uncomfortable, but something interesting happened. No one argued. Not because they suddenly agreed, but because there was nothing to push against. What to do instead? State your decision once. Use short, neutral sentences. Do not explain unless asked, and even then, keep it minimal. You don't owe people clarity when what they're really testing is control. This one hurts to hear because it feels polite, responsible, nice. But being always available quietly tells people your time has no value. I learned this when I realized something uncomfortable. The people who respected me the least had the easiest access to me. Instant replies, last-minute favors, dropped plans whenever they needed something. I thought availability meant reliability. What it actually signaled was low cost. Here's how it plays out. Someone messages you. You reply instantly, every time. Someone needs help. You say yes, even when it messes up your schedule. Someone cancels on you last minute. You brush it off and reschedule right away. And without saying it out loud, you teach them this. My time adjusts to yours. I tested a small change. Nothing dramatic, nothing aggressive. I just stopped responding immediately. When someone messaged, I waited an hour, sometimes 2. When someone asked for something last minute, I said, "I can't today." No excuse, no explanation. At first, it felt wrong, like I was being rude, but then something strange happened. People started asking before making plans. They stopped assuming I was free. They respected my time because I did. What to do instead? Delay responses when there's no urgency. Say no without justification. Let people feel the absence of instant access. Availability should be earned, not assumed. This is the step that changes everything. Because here's the truth most people avoid. Disrespect that has no consequence will repeat. Not because people are evil, but because humans learn fast. I used to think staying calm was enough. I stayed polite, I stayed quiet, I stayed above it. But nothing changed. Why? Because I removed the emotion, but I left the access. Someone canceled on me last minute, I still rescheduled. Someone dumped work on me, I still helped. Someone talked down to me, I still stayed close. From their perspective, nothing was wrong. Then I made one uncomfortable adjustment. I didn't argue, I didn't explain, I simply removed access. A friend canceled on me again. I replied with, "All right." No reschedule, no follow-up. A coworker tried to push their task on me. I said, "That's yours to handle," and I didn't step in. Someone crossed a line with a comment. I acknowledged it once, and then I disengaged. Less availability, shorter responses, more distance. And here's what happened. Some people apologized and adjusted. Some people faded away. Both outcomes were wins. What to do instead? Acknowledge disrespect once. Remove access calmly. Let behavior determine proximity. Respect doesn't come from confrontation. It comes from consequence. Here's what most people get wrong. They think respect comes from being tougher, more aggressive, more dominant. It doesn't. Respect comes from what you stop doing. You didn't lose respect because you're weak. You lost it because you reacted too fast, because you explained too much, because you stayed available no matter how you retreated, because you allowed access without consequence. The moment you stop doing those things, something powerful happens. People pause before they speak to you. They think before they ask. They adjust their tone, not because you demanded it, but because the rules changed. You didn't argue, you didn't threaten, you didn't lecture. You simply stopped rewarding behavior that didn't deserve access. Here's your action plan for today. Pick one behavior from this video, just one. Pause before reacting, or stop explaining, or delay your responses, or remove access when lines are crossed. Do it once, then watch carefully. The first time you see someone hesitate, the first time they correct themselves, you'll understand something important. You were never invisible. You were just too available. In the next video, I'll show you how to shut down manipulation without saying a single aggressive word.